Hello ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Tryanis here. So, after going through about 6 different groups on the PTR, I finally found a solid group that allowed me to record the entire dungeon of the second new heroic called Hour of Twilight. Now, I was a little disappointed in this dungeon because, 1, it's very short, and 2, the bosses aren't as hard as you'd expect them to be, especially for it being a kata heroic, as in like after Firelands getting ready to, knock out the final dungeon, or the final raid. So that was a little bit irritating. Except, the final boss is a little bit difficult. He has a little bit of a tactics required. So when it gets to that boss, I'll definitely make sure I get into that. But right here, what happens is it's basically an escort dungeon with Thrall. Thrall is a huge part in this. And while you're fighting, he does throw down totems. If you are a ranged caster, get in those totems. It increases your damage by 10% every time. But since we are on the first boss, here we go. His name is, I believe, Arcuron, and he has a couple of things you need to be aware. The first thing is that you'll see little circles on the ground. To your right, next to me where I dodged over, you saw that little circle. Basically, he drops down icicles. That is a big part of it. Second off, if you can disrupt Hand of Frost, do that because those are the particles. If you're a healer and you're watching this, make sure that you dispel the chains. He will summon chains and you have to make sure you dispel those. Not only do they immobilize you, but they also deal damage at the same time. And third off, you see Arcuron throws or puts a block of ice on top of Thrall. Get rid of that because Thrall helps damage and he does do a lot of damage. So you want to make sure he can help attack. So basically for this boss, all you need to do is dodge the circles on the ground. Healers, dispel your party members, like their chains. Unless you're a mage, because then you can just blink out of it. But if you are a healer, dispel the chains and then freeze or unfreeze Thrall when he gets into the chain. And then at the very end, he does this volley, this frostbolt volley. It hurts like hell. So you need to make sure that you go ahead and burst him down when that happens. But other than that, those are the 3 basic tactics. I'll say them one more time. Dodge the circles and interrupt Hand of Frost if you can. Keep Thrall out of the ice block, and make sure that if you're a healer, dispel the chains. But if you can naturally get out of the chains, you're more than welcome to help the healer save mana or anything like that. And always make sure that you are with Thrall. You need to make sure you're escorting him. So if you're running and you don't see him, turn around and go talk to him, because most of the time you need to talk to him. So that is the first boss. It's very simple. Most of the mobs of enemies are very, self-explanatory. You just DPS them down, nothing serious. Except for these first set of mobs that I'm going to go ahead and slow down the dungeon. The thing is that it's a group of like 6 mobs. Usually it's 2 archers, a shadow priest, or something like that. The first thing I recommend doing if you are a caster or a ranged DPS is take down the shadow priest. The shadow priest does do a lot of damage, and then let the tank take down the DPS or the melee, and then if you're ranged, take down the archers. So if you're ranged, take down the shadow priest and the archers, and then if you are a tank or melee, go ahead and take down the melee. So it's very simple. I just want to slow it down to show you. The archers are a little bit annoying because they use disengage and they also have an ice block. So be aware of that. As you can see, my healer just got frozen. It's like, what the fuck. But other than that, it's pretty simple, and there's an example of the totem. If you look up on my buff screen, you see the little flame tongue thing? That is the buff that you get from that totem, and it stacks up to 10 times, which is increased 100% damage, and then you get, I believe it's 50% health increase, if I remember correctly. I believe it's 50%. I'm not sure what the actual buff is, like the number. But that's all you gotta do. You just run through a couple of set of mobs for this part. But like I was saying before, I'm definitely disappointed. It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I definitely thought they would put more challenge because it's coming up. It's the heroics right before the final raid where you take down Deathwing. So, you know, you'd expect it to be a little bit more difficult, but it wasn't. So, you know, whatever. But then again, we were all in tier 12. So, you know, it is like not that hard for us. But definitely a solid group. Definitely a solid group. But that's besides the point. This next boss, I'm going to go ahead and just start talking about her now. She is a rogue. And for those of you who are PvE, or if you're a rogue, y'all know about silencing and smoke bomb. If you are a caster, you guys, then definitely make sure, sorry about that, you guys, my house phone started ringing, but make sure that what you do is, if you are a caster, whether you be a warlock, a mage, those are the only two, yeah, or a druid, balanced druid, pardon me, make sure that you pay attention, because she does silence you. Every time you attack her with a spell, she throws a weapon at you. It's deadly throw or whatever, but it silences you. And if you are the tank and you are watching this, if you are a tank, a serious tank, please pay attention. Okay, she throws down smoke bombs, and for those of you who know what smoke bomb does, it prevents us from attacking her if we are spellcasters. So please move her out of the smoke bombs. I don't know how many times I can ask that to be happen. See, the silencing, you learn to deal with that. The silencing is whatever, because it's only for 2.5 seconds. But the smoke bomb, if you don't move her out of there, it can last for like 30 seconds, and that's a long time. So definitely, tank, can you please just move her out of there? That's all I'm asking for your party. Move her out of the smoke bomb, and if you're a spellcaster, just deal with the silencing. And also, make sure if you are ranged DPS or melee DPS, or hell, even healers, but I mean, healer doesn't really matter. But if you are a hunter, a balanced druid, you know, a warlock, a mage, stay in this little totem, because it increases your damage and you know, wreck shit into the ground. You know, I was critting for like 50k, 60k with a pyroblast while I had the buff on me. So, you know, definitely just make sure that your tanks, for this, tanks, oh, pardon me, tanks, keep her out of the smoke bomb. And if you are a spellcaster, 1, stay in the totems when he summons them, and 2, just ignore the deadly throw or whatever, because it's just a little bit, you know, it's something you kind of have to deal with it. The only thing you can really avoid is the smoke bombs. As you can see, she throws them down like every 30 seconds. And, you know, if you don't get her out of that, then there's no point in spellcasting, because, you know, you're worthless. But next up, after you down the second boss, you come, Thrall flies away on a dragon, and he'll end up summoning dragons, as you guys can see. You'll see it shortly. But these are the only 2 heroics. The one that I did before this, End of Time or End Time, and then the second one, which is this, Hour of Twilight. The third one, it's called Well of something. I don't quite remember off the top of my head, but when that comes out, definitely stay tuned for that. I'll definitely go ahead and record that once I get to it. And then, you know, possibly if I can find a good core set of people, we might even try the, you know, the raid with Deathwing. It's definitely going to be difficult, but, you know, I'm sure it'll pay off. And yes, that is the final boss. I'm looking at him. I was trying to look at his tactics to explain to everyone what you had to do. Because this boss is a little bit of a pain in the ass, I'm going to go ahead and start explaining him now while we're making our way towards him. You just kill mobs and everything to get down to the boss where he supposedly, quote-unquote, saves you, but he basically wants the dragon soul. So this boss has 2 phases. The first phase is basically he's like a holy priest. He uses smite, which is just his damaging attack. He has some other move which I don't really know what it does. And then his third move is called Well of Virtue, or Wave of Virtue. There is a little orb on the ground. It's like a little sphere. if you are ranged or whatever, you can get in that to protect yourself, or you can just move out of the wave's way, because the wave does hit kind of hard, and it's not very hard to avoid, because I'm pretty sure every single time it goes in the same direction. So you just learn to avoid that. You get out of the way, avoid that, and then you continue to DPS him. You continue to DPS him down, and then you will get to his second phase. His second phase is a little bit more irritating. With the second phase, you have to not only pop Time Warp or Bloodlust if you have either of them, because you want to get him down as fast as you can, and you'll find this out. You'll find out why when I get to it. You know, you'll see it happens to me. But he has 3 spells. He has one which is basically just I believe it's just a normal attack. He has a second part of his spell where basically he throws up 3 orbs into the air and then throws them down on 3 random party members. And basically you just want to get out of the way, because if you stand in them, they hurt you really bad. So, you know, just definitely stay out of his way. And, you know, after that, it's pretty basic. So all you do is just right here, it's purifying light or something like that. So what you need to do is go ahead and DPS him down for the first stage. First stage, not very difficult, but now he is going ahead, and here we go. We have the second stage. Pop Time Warp if you can. Thrall is basically, he's trapped, so he can't help you. So it's all about, you know, going ahead and DPSing him down. I sped this up a little bit because it's a little bit of it's pretty fast, but soon enough you'll see the wave, and the wave goes ahead and kills me because I wasn't paying attention. I thought I was going a different way. But, you know, bam. That's it, you guys. Boss is dead, and you have finished Hour of Twilight. I will see you guys next time when I do the 3rd heroic dungeon. See ya.